Hello, frisky girl. Mandy's over there rocking out. Okay. Let's see. Stacy might have been caught up. Oh, there she is. I found her. Okay.
Sandy, I am so sorry.
That's okay. Hey, that's another show.
I am here.
Hello. How
Hey,
are
Stacey.
y'all?
I locked my dog upstairs, one of them.
Look at you. And look, once again, look at this sweet baby. I mean, that's a good dog right there, Stacy. That's a good dog. And he doesn't snore or anything. He's fantastic.
You know, you need to have a
Look,
little bit more
look at him.
respect for a
He's like, are you talking
geriatric.
about me? That's my boy right there. Alrighty. So I'm sorry, got all kinds of messages coming in here. So hi everyone. Let me catch up on here. Okay. Well, hello, Stacy. Look at you showing your face tonight.
You know, I would like to say that if I had a Find Amy Bradley or Justice for Amy hat, I would sport it every single day because I wear hats all the time.
Well, you know what?
I need a hat that says that.
You actually just reminded me that I normally do put on one of my Amy shirts, but I have literally been swamped all day today, and I just ran in here and sat down at my desk. So,
Well, and
yeah.
I'm also freezing and all up in like warm clothes because it's cold outside. We go from what, 100 degrees to 40.
I know. Yes. And it's getting me every morning. I walk out thinking, it's nice. And then I walk right back in with the dog. I'm like, okay, nope, let's go get some more clothes. You did have somebody, Bob Bugs Be Gone, that just said hi to you. I don't know if you saw that, but that might be one of your friends. So I thought I'd tell you that.
Hey.
So look at him. Alrighty. He's got his little teddy bear over here. Anything at all that you want to start with, Stacy? Anything?
You know, we go through we had a little bit of excitement there for a little bit, you know, with the people just tend to want to just make up stuff, you know.
Yeah. They're good though. They think they're hurting us, but they're actually helping us. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We can talk about that in a few minutes, but do you want to hear some good news?
Yes, always.
Okay. So our friends that are in the islands gave us they gave us an update. I don't even know if Iva knows this. Brad may have told her, I'm not sure, but they gave us an update today, and they were in Curacao, so they're now back on the ship and they've left, but they had really good response there in Curacao. They actually, is that you, Mandy, or it can't be Stacy? Mandy, is she muted?
Yes, I am muted.
She is. I don't know. Okay. So she did have people that were actually coming up. They were seeing what they were doing, and actually had people coming up and asking to take screenshots, take pictures. I mean, not screen, of the flyer, and we're trying to help as well. And all of her feedback from the people that she spoke to today was outstanding. And they even had one scenario where they had put one up on a dumpster, and they watched an adult male come riding up on a bike. He took a picture of the flyer. He then texted someone. He then made a phone call. They waited a few moments because they weren't sure what was happening, but they then went back over and had a conversation with them, gave him one of Amy's bracelets that they were down there passing out as well. And that was a really good conversation as well. So all good stuff. Made me really happy to hear all of that feedback today. And so that was good.
You know what? That is awesome. And it just goes to show that those one or two we'll maybe mention names later, but just goes to show these people who think they're speaking for the island. You're not.
Right.
You're not. And I know the Bradleys, and I don't blame Curacao. I don't blame them. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
But those those people want to help us just as much.
Yeah. And that's what she said that she personally, the one that was texting us today, said that she personally was just amazed at how many people know Amy, know her story there in Curacao. Were even mentioning the Netflix show even before she did. I think she was kind of taken back about how many people down there were truly supportive and trying to,
Yeah,
spread the word. So I thought that was amazing.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of people in Curacao want. I mean, you know, we just got to find the ones who know. But a lot depend on tourism and everything, and so they want to, help. You know,
Yep.
it's just
Yeah. I know I don't feel like, we have 40 people on here. I have no idea if these 40 people are aware of the hate that we deal with and it's only from this small group of people that we've
yeah,
been working trying to figure out like what's their agenda. We don't know. We didn't know certain things about them because they hide behind fake profiles, fake names, fake profile pictures. Um, they're never out here like we are. I mean, we're
right.
out here with our faces, with our names, telling our story on a regular basis. We allow people to ask us questions. We answer those questions. We put up evidence, to support what we're saying. And these people will just randomly go and say stuff, put it out there. And it's like, we're out here trying to find a missing woman. And then you have this small group of people that are constantly coming at you with these false narratives, just literally making things up, trying to create animosity towards this family. And it's like, I just sit and wonder. I know there's trolls in all aspects of this world, but it's like, why would anybody do that? Like, I don't. I know that I don't sit around in my daily life and think about who I could get involved with on a situation that has nothing to do with me and that I don't really care about helping, but I'm going to put energy and effort into it on a daily basis. And when I say effort, which is that's why I said they're kind of helping when they think they're hurting us, they're really not. The fact they'll take one post and all they do is they copy it and then they go and post it on multiple group pages and everywhere, which shows what? Malicious intent, which is why we always screenshot everything, because that's not someone trying to have a conversation. That's someone that's trying to be malicious. And it's always then false information that can easily be proven incorrect. So I will, because this person has put their own selves out there, I don't generally try to put names out because I just don't think that's the right thing to do. But this person that I'm talking about,
Do it.
yeah, Jess from Curacao. I have no
Yeah.
idea if any of you all on here even know who we're talking about. And if you don't, good for you. But there is a hairdresser that's in Curacao she's going on to these different pages on Facebook and putting herself out there under her real name. So it's not like she's hiding it. So I don't feel like, she's putting it out there. We're obviously capturing all the screenshots of everything that she's saying, but she got in with a group of girls that are, they don't like the Bradleys. It's wild. But Jess ended up contacting someone on our PI team, and she acted as
Oh
if she had had
yeah.
a change of heart, and that she had never thought that Amy was truly, with us. She states that she saw the water search when she was a small girl and that she was watching it, on her birthday dinner or something. And now, 28 years later, she's a hairdresser. And she reached out to the family after being a complete hater for a very long time and said, no, I've had a client that's changed my mind. This client has told me a bunch of information and I know who has Amy, and I've never believed that she was alive until now. So she gets in touch with our PI team because, of course, we're hesitant with her, of course, but we're not gonna not talk to her. Well, as it turns out, She was doing exactly what we thought she was doing. She was just recording conversations. She
Mm-hmm.
was leading with questions about wanting to know what the informants know. She was basically asking all the questions, trying to get intel from us. And our guy was like, no. So, of course, she is playing those conversations for people too, which this is an open investigation
Investigation.
and you are recording information and sharing it. And these people tout themselves as true crime junkies, but you don't know, they don't know that's impeding, on a case.
Obstruction of justice
That's
and
really wild that they
impeding.
do
Yeah.
things like that. But they do it for their own entertainment, not thinking about what the consequences are going to be.
Well,
Um,
I don't know if it's for entertainment per se. I think
what
it's,
other reason?
the neck, because she's a hairdresser, she probably needs more people to do their hair. So
Well,
she
she
wants to
always
get her name
presents
out
herself,
there.
but she presents herself as being all knowing, like she's the
Hmm.
Jesus of Curacao. She knows absolutely everybody. She knows everything that's going on. She knows exactly what the Bradleys are not doing, which is always humorous to me because she always starts with, they're not doing this, 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 and this. How would you know? You don't know
Yeah.
what we're doing. We do not update you, Jess. I can promise you that.
Look, here's a
But
fun fact. I don't even know what the Bradleys do every day.
that's true. That is
I
true.
mean, I don't
Um,
think I wanted, I mean, I just know how, like, puppy love, they're still all in and everything. So I don't need to know what they're doing every single day.
yeah,
But no,
Kyla.
I don't even know.
Yeah, Kyla. Let's see. I will. Hold on one second. I'm
Hey,
gonna stop.
well,
And
while you're looking, Bob Bugsby asked if you read his comment about jazz photos in the film role, potential lead.
I haven't. No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yep, that's okay. So back to Jess real quick. I saw Kyla's Cozy Chaos saying that about, that's like saying I know everybody in California. I thought about that too. So that's real funny that we're on the same wavelength. There's 185,000 people in Curacao. If you drove that whole island all the way around with no stops, it would take you 3 hours. It's similar to the size of Washington, D.C. And you got a hairdresser that thinks that she's all knowing and knows everything about what's going, that she's so connected. So I looked at her Google reviews today. Someone that's that connected, she's got 3 Google reviews.
I'm saying
185,000 people, and you
she's
only
got to
got
draw
3 Google
attention.
reviews. I looked at her Facebook page for her business. She got 1 review and she got 200 followers, but she's so connected and knows everything that we're doing. I think that girl has gotten herself caught up with people that are not good, and she's being led. And I think they're using her and baiting her to go and do their dirty work for her, thinking that she's going to be safe. And that's a sad
Sad,
thing.
sad.
Yeah.
Yep.
So here's my last thing I'll say about her. What you probably will see about what she keeps saying is that her story now is that she gave us a lead and that we, meaning the Bradley family, have done nothing about it. That, first of all, you don't know what we did or did not do. So saying you know anything in regards to what the PI team has done is literally a lie. We would never update somebody like Jess from Curacao on what we are or are not doing. But here's the part that really amazes me. She's in Curacao. She's near the police. She could walk over to the police station. She could call the FBI. She could submit a tip online. There's $100,000 reward. If she truly knows something, guys, why isn't she cashing in on $100,000 reward instead of spending all of her time and energy going and posting the exact same thing on 20 different group sites, making yourself look like an
And
idiot?
staying up all night to do it, knowing that we're probably asleep because it's Eastern Standard Time, and
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
love to do
oh,
it at 3
it's
o'clock
3
in the morning.
a.m.
I love
Yeah.
it. So there's my joy for the day because she really does just make me smile. But anyway, Jess, I just want to remind you, girl, there's $100,000 reward. If you really know something and you really have a tip, you should probably call the FBI. All right.
Be careful. That might have been a little bit rude since she said that you were rude to me.
I
Be
hope
careful.
it was. I really hope she took it as rude because I meant it exactly
All
how
right.
I said it.
Enough of that. Let's read. We're going to read our letter. Not our
Yeah.
letter.
I just want one more thing that's going out. The other little troll that rolls around with her keeps going on and on and on. We addressed this last week. I guess they missed that episode. I don't know.
Yeah.
About that the itinerary is wrong. First and foremost, it really doesn't matter, even if the itinerary was wrong, but it's not. So I don't know what their purpose is of trying to say that the itinerary is wrong. They're trying to, again, create a scenario that says that the Bradleys are lying. So what else are they lying about? Well, the Bradleys didn't lie about anything. And that story is they're trying to say that the formal dinner did not happen on Monday, March 23rd, like the Bradleys said. Well, I read last week, so I'll just read it again real quick in case they missed it. This is the Royal Caribbean Security Report. This is not from the Bradleys. This is from Royal Caribbean. So I don't know, do you have something against them too? I felt like you were kind of fighting for them, but this is what their report says. During this search phase, the casino manager and assistant were checking by camera and their staff for Amy's presence earlier that morning and previous evening. So we're talking about Tuesday, March 24th, this morning and previous evening. The next sentence says, at the same time, the photo manager had located the photograph of Amy taken on the formal night on the previous day, which again, we're on Tuesday, so the previous day would have been what date? Monday, March 23rd. And by the way, Iva has the itinerary, and you know what else she has, you idiots? She has the receipts for the 2 tuxedos that she got for Ron and for Brad that were delivered to them on Monday, March 23rd.
Yep.
Okay. It's all right. Moving on.
Moving on.
So, I mean, they're fun. They really.
Thank you everyone for allowing us to kind of put that out there, and it's also good for all of you to know if you as followers, because one of the people that is commented and found their way into other groups as well they're not affiliated with Amy's official page, but there are other pages.
Mm-hmm.
So there's people who are going in there and stuff. We're just not going to give any attention to it. I mean, so we're pretty much saying it here, just because.
Hey, it's my live. I can say what I want to, right?
We need to let everyone know that. Yeah. Because if we're not responding, they may not think we know. We know.
No, we see it. We laugh at it. We giggle at it. Yep. My favorite one was last night when the one that keeps going on and on about the itinerary. She went into one group page and I just sat there and I watched it go down. But she posted up something about, she was asking this particular, it was a Rhapsody of the Seas group page. And she asked if all formal dinners were always on days that were at sea or if they ever happened at port. And it's hilarious if you go over there and watch it, because she'll probably take it down now because she doesn't want y'all to see all of it. But it's hilarious because the people were like, no, because she's trying to say that there would never be a formal night on a port day, which is what in fact happened with the Bradleys back in 1998. But was hilarious when I think she thought she was going to post it in there and that everybody was going to agree with her. So then she could go, see, I asked they were all going, no, I've had a formal night when I was on a port. I'm like, I'm dying. I'm sitting here just watching it go down. And I'm like, this is hilarious. Like, that's got to be one of the funniest things I've ever watched in my life. Like, that was
And this perfect. Is Amy projecting through all of us, because Amy would be like, fuck that shit. I'm sorry, y'all. If that's, she'd be like, we ain't got time for that.
Do you want to be?
Yeah.
All right. And then let's see. So we're going to switch over. So we got some cool things happening. I'm so sorry. One last thing. Y'all told me about this right before I jumped on. Now her thing is that I'm threatening her son. Well, I'm not dumb enough to delete a comment without taking a screenshot of it. So when she came in and added herself over to our official Facebook page after
Yep.
midnight, this morning. I see her posts go up at like 3 a.m. Like that's what they do. They literally sit around and troll pages at that time of night trying to see if they can affect people. Well, I caught it. And so I just replied and told her how dumb she was in the nicest way I possibly could. But at the end, I said, tell your son hello and stay warm up there because she's up in New York. And so now, I guess because then I banned her and the comment has gone, she's now trying to tell people that I threatened her. I have a copy of the messages I sent to you. I just sent it to the group chat and said, hey, post that up. If she says it again, post my screenshot so you can see. I just said, tell your son hello. I think that's kind of nice considering told you to stay warm. I think that's kind of nice considering what you do to us on a daily basis. So anyway.
Hey, before we go jump in, I just want to give a big shout out to the Amy's Army, the girls, and I don't mention names because of privacy and stuff, but they know who they are. They have gone over and beyond.
No doubt.
Since last Tuesday, a few of us put some money together and promoted the flyers, and we wanted to change where it was being focused at. So we kind of just selected like the islands and stuff down there. And not only the ladies from the cruise saying what they told you and stuff.
That's right.
But if you go and look at the insights, I don't know if people can just do that, but I can.
No,
if you look at the insights, it's all positive.
Yeah.
And people are really genuinely wanting to help.
Yeah.
And so thank you ladies for helping boost that so we could get it to the islands. I know it's definitely, it's only 60% in the United States now. It's more in the island areas and stuff. So I just wanted to give a huge thank you, and
no doubt that was such a great idea too. I love that. And Tara, I did just see your message, so I'm assuming you're just joining us. So the answer to your question is yes. We touched it on the beginning of this live. That yes, there were flyers and wristbands being given out today in Curacao, and we had an amazing response from there, and that'll continue. But what Stacy was just saying is that we've also taken the Amy's Awareness Army, took the 4 different flyers that were created and pushed out a social media campaign down in the islands as well. So we are physically there with flyers and wristbands, but we are also doing a social media push as well with all of it. So yeah, got some good.
Don't have
and of
to
course,
be
the press
member.
release went out, across the country, and then we also pushed it out to the media outlets in those countries, in the islands as well.
And if you belong to a lot of groups, I cannot stress this enough. If you belong to a lot of groups, please, please, please. Like the best example I could give is Instapot. But you can go into Amy's Army, hit share, the share arrow, and then hit feed and change it to groups, and you can select all the groups that you're in and just keep doing it over and over until you do all the groups. That will massively put it out everywhere as well, because Instapots, just for example, are everywhere, like in a lot of households. So if you haven't done that, please, please do that, because this is a substantial increase, and it could tempt the right person who knows something to give us something.
That's why we were, fighting for that so hard. I really feel like, I wish that had been done, before the Netflix show came out, because I think, that was when I don't think a lot of people do things for $25,000, but $100,000 could be, anyway, we hope it reaches the right people, and we get some movement on that here soon. So
I'm hoping Amy sees it and it's like, what the fuck? That doesn't even look like me. What? Could you could you imagine? That would be Amy. Like, what
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Well, I thought they were considering that we don't know. I
Yeah.
did. I know
I thought they
people
were
are.
great.
Yeah, I think just to clarify, the photos that went out on that, we did that internally over here. We wanted to get those flyers out. We did not want to miss an opportunity. So we don't know if we're correct on what Amy might look like. That is just a guess. We're looking at Ron, we're looking at Iva, we're looking at Brad, taking into consideration what Amy might have, might be enduring, for the past 28 years. And so it's an educated guess. But the FBI has now come back to the Bradleys and is taking Ron and Iva's photos from this age, along with Brad's photos at this age, and has new technology, and they're supposed to be getting back to them with some new age progressions that are coming from that side. So once we get them, if they're better, maybe we add them to what we have, or maybe we replace, I don't know. But yeah, I thought they were at least realistic. But again, we really don't know. We're just doing an educated guess and doing the best we can. Okay. All right. So anything else, Stacy? I'm with you 100%. There's some other really amazing things too that those girls are working on with the Amy's Awareness Army, but we'll save that for next time if that's okay.
I don't want to boost too much about the cards because the girl's already making a ton of them. So we need some more volunteers for card makers. Anyone?
Yeah, that is. If anybody is interested in helping out with that, Mandy has a template.
You can boost that up. Absolutely, I'm all for making more.
She must have a system now.
Yeah. So
I do. It's like clockwork.
Miracle Mama has just said I can help. So they are. Mandy, why don't you come up and talk about it? Did I lose her?
Or not?
Well, they're little small, like business. I'd say like the size of a business card.
It is, yeah, business cards.
And it just has information on one side.
Here she comes.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm driving right now. That's why.
Okay, but then don't come on. No.
But it's just a card, and somebody sent a video. Mandy, can you tell us real quick where that video came from this week, where they were taping it on the door?
I actually don't know what cruise that was on, but she reached out to me, I want to say maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and said that she was going on a cruise. She would like some business cards with the Amy Alert petition and Amy's like little story on that, and take it with her on the cruise to kind of put around the ship.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and sent her some, and she sent me a 20-second video of her placing them, I believe, in one of the bathrooms, like the general bathrooms, and I was overwhelmed. I seriously can't describe how good that felt.
All right. I got another person in here asking, saying that they'd like to get help. So Mandy June here, send her a message afterwards. And
please
she can hook you up with about that card. It's a really cool idea.
Yes.
Okay. All righty. So we want to move on.
Now.
Okay. Let's see.
8 o'clock, 30 minutes. Good. We said we would pick up right where we left off. Go.
Yep. So, which is also cool because huge shout out to our dude, Kevin Hall with Midnight Mystery Archive, because he is just like killing it. I mean, absolutely loving what he's doing. And like, I did not know, I loved last week's episode with that lawyer. And the fact that he was able to get him and do that interview and get that kind of information, I literally just sat there and listened to it with my mouth wide open. I mean, Brad and I were actually listening to it at the same time, and we were like texting back like, oh my God, like this is amazing. So if you didn't catch up, let's do two things. First, Midnight Mystery Archive. He's on TikTok, he's on X, he's on Facebook. His page is midnightmysteryarchive.com. If you go there, it lists all of the options on how you can listen to his podcast, whether it be Spotify or Apple or Amazon. it has all of the options. There's 2 different things that are going on right now, because initially it was just a 12-part series, and last Friday was episode 4. So if you haven't seen the first 4, I mean, listened, not seen, listened to the first 4 episodes, then you can go back and catch up. They are great, great episodes. But then episode 5 will come out this Friday. And as far as that 12-part series, that's every Friday. Well, what happened was after this launched, he is killing it. I'm like, it's so, so good. He started seeing people say, I wish we heard from this person. I wish we heard from that person. So Kevin was like watching the comments and was like, you know what? I can do that. So then he came out with this second kind of initiative where he calls it Witness Wednesday. And he's doing, so that's separate from the 12-part series, but on Wednesdays, he's been releasing these other episodes where he's talking to experts. Last week, he talked to a expert maritime lawyer down there in Miami that goes up against the cruise lines all the time and kind of talked about the issues that the Bradleys have been up against, the past 28 years. So please go back and listen to that. Who was the other witness that he had? I'm so sorry. Do you remember, Stacy? It is slipping my mind. That's so terrible.
Did you say Chris? You already said Chris Fenwick?
Chris Fenwick. Sorry, I was trying to remember. Thank you. So he did one with Chris Fenwick. And now tomorrow, which was news to me, when he sent it over and said, this is who it is, I'm like, didn't even know that was happening, but amazing.
Yeah.
So he is talking to Tom, Amy's boyfriend, at the time that Amy went missing. They were dating. They worked together. They started dating in December of 97. They were dating when Amy went on the cruise. Amy went missing. Tom went to Curacao with the family to search. He quit his job to help search for Amy. He was interviewed for 5 hours for the Netflix show, and they didn't even use 10 seconds of his interview.
Cut it all out.
Cut it all out. So he has done one other interview, which was with Courtroom Insider, Nate Eaton. It's on YouTube. If you want to see it and you haven't seen it and you can't find it, send me a message and I'll send you the link. But that's who Kevin is talking to on this next episode that's coming out tomorrow. So I love that he's gotten in touch with Tom, and that's given Tom a second opportunity to speak. So that's coming out tomorrow. So make sure you tune in and listen to that, which I thought was perfect timing, because where we left off last week was I was getting ready to read this letter. And, that is a part of before I start this, that whole that agenda that I guess Hollywood had in putting out this narrative about Amy's sexuality, and people want to say, oh, they just were trying to hide it and they didn't want, people to know that she was bisexual. Like, no, go and find us the interviews in the past 27 years where they were on there talking about how in love she was with Tom. What, were they hiding the fact that she was dating a guy as well? Pick a lane. You're either saying that they don't want people to know that she liked girls, but yet they weren't talking about Tom either. So I don't get it. Amy came out as bisexual in 1995. She came to her parents and she said, I like girls too. That's what she said. She didn't even use the word bisexual. We use the word bisexual because it's now 2026. But when Amy came to her parents in 1998, she said, I like girls too. That's what she said. Okay, fast forward, it's now 1998. They're going on a cruise. They're going on a cruise, by the way, that the parents had to pay for them to go. So if they had any issue with Amy or her lifestyle or what she was doing, why would they be taking her on a cruise and actually having to pay for it? So that's the false narratives that are out there. But it's, for some reason, there's this one group of people that really want you to believe that Amy did not like men as well, even though Tom wasn't the only man that Amy dated after she came out. He was just the last one. She dated girls and boys, both, because she liked both. What she would say is, I liked who I like.
Who I like.
I like who I like. She didn't care about gender. But
she would be saying right now, it's none of your fucking business who I'm with right now.
And she would have
That's
said
what
it
she'd
just
be
like that.
saying. And she would
Yeah.
not, and she would tell you, don't put a label.
Yep.
She does not like, neither do I. Neither
Yeah.
do I.
And so I think it's amazing that these people that don't even know Amy think that they're coming out and speaking for Amy, that they're
Hmm.
telling her, that they're telling the true story that her family didn't accept her. Like, what? We're here. We're here. We grew up with the Bradleys. We know that they loved Amy with everything. They haven't done all of this. If your story was correct, they would have just moved on with their lives and stopped because their problem would have been gone, right? If they really didn't accept Amy, well, now she's gone. Well, good. Now we ain't got to deal with that. Why are they still searching for Amy 28 years later, desperate for help to get to her?
Yep.
If they got an issue with anything that she was doing in her life, that's just other false narratives that get put out there. So I think this letter right here to me this is Amy's handwriting. I don't know if y'all can see all of that. All right.
Yep.
And this
I
was a
can
letter.
verify.
Yep, this was a letter that she wrote on February 4th, and she's writing it to Molly. And if you don't remember who Molly is, in the Netflix show, Molly is the one that, let me back up and just say this real quick. We don't know if Molly actually did misspeak or if the Netflix part, the production company edited what she said. So
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and be honest and say maybe she didn't say 1998, but it appeared to us and everybody else that watched it that she was saying that her and Amy had gotten together in 1998. That is not true. They got together after Amy and her graduated, which was December of 96. So it's in January of 97 is when Amy has called and said, hey, I kissed somebody else. Then they don't talk again. Molly tells you that they don't talk again. But because in the Netflix show it said January of 98, when we try to tell people that that's not true, they think we're lying. They think we're hiding what was going on in Amy's life, that we weren't telling the truth. And it's like, no, it simply wasn't January of 98. She did have an interest in Molly. She did, were dating. She did call Molly and tell her that she kissed someone else. All of that was true. It simply wasn't January of 1998. So, and when people are like, oh no, they loved each other. They were in a relationship and y'all are just, no. This is a letter that's written on February 4th, 1998. Now, Molly tells you in the Netflix show that she's upset that Amy has kissed someone else. Also keep in mind, Amy and Molly had been friends since childhood. They were on swim teams and other stuff together. And so they had been friends all of this time, best friends. And now in December of 96,
Basketball, swim.
Yep.
Yep.
So now it goes an extra step, right? And they've had a makeout session and they start talking about dating and start being in a relationship. So they've been friends for over a decade though, way before that. But now Molly's mad, rightfully so. Rightfully
kind of
so.
like that thing, the TikTok thing or trend that's like, I'm about to tell my best friend that I like them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So picture that.
Yep. And Molly did state that, she had strong feelings for Amy even before it got that. So I'm like, I believe Molly. I just know it wasn't January of 1998. So
exactly.
Now, but Amy has called. Amy did say, I've kissed someone else. Molly is upset. Rightfully so. Ain't nobody blaming Molly for being upset about that and says, all right, I don't want to talk to you. But other people implying that this was actually happening in January and February of 1998 and that Amy was cheating on Tom with Molly and all of that, that's the part is like, no, get the story straight if you're going to tell Amy's story. So, February 4th, 1998. Hey, Molly, I'm not real sure if you'll read this. I'm hoping you will. I figured I'd try. I just wanted to say hello and see how you were. February 4th, 1998. Why does she start a letter like that if she's talking to Molly? She wouldn't. She wasn't talking to Molly. I saw some scores for UK, which meant the University of Kentucky, but mostly the snow that Frankfurt got. Hope it's not too much, but I bet it is, huh? Lots of news here. I moved out. Can you believe it? Neither can I. I live alone in a one-bedroom apartment, the Timbers, on off Old Bon Air Road in Bon Air, Richmond. Whatever. I dig it. Rent's a bite, but I manage. Haven't been out in 2 weeks, which is weird. Now, again, if she's talking to Molly, wouldn't she have already known that she had a lease? She wouldn't have had to update her and let her know what was going on in her life? Okay, moving on. I am a server now at Ruth Chris. It actually pays more money annually than teaching would, but I substitute during the day. It'll do till I go back to school in the fall. How's Kentucky? Question mark. Leslie? Question mark. Everyone else? Question mark. If they were talking, why does she have to ask all those questions? Weird. Tell them I said hello. Question mark. Maybe? Question mark. So many questions. I'm sorry. I think it's Dorian, but I'm not. I hope Dorian and Artemis are well. I'm sure you have a third child by now. Am I right? I also hope your other family is doing fine. Catherine and the folks. Are they gone to the Winter Olympics in Nagano? Question mark. Again, if they're talking, why would Amy have to ask all of these questions?
And just to reiterate, the child is cats.
The cats. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. So next one, big news with an exclamation point. Do you see it? Big news with an exclamation point. I've been dating a guy for 2 months. Why would Amy on February 4th, 1998, tell Molly about dating a guy for the past 2 months if she's dating Molly in January of 98? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, does it? Okay, big news. I've been dating a guy for 2 months. Yes, hell froze over twice because that's not the first guy that she's dated since she came out. That's why she's saying that. He's a real great guy. He's 31, a bit older, but a kid at heart. He's a manager at work and a cigar aficionado in Richmond. A William and Mary boy. Kind of strange, but working out good. How about you? Any love interest? Why does Amy have to ask Molly about love interest if they're in a relationship in January of 98? Okay, not to bring up old news, but I saw Kat. Oh, I love this part. This is my favorite part.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right. Not to bring up old news, but I saw Kat about 5 months ago. So she's now telling Molly something that happened 5 months ago in this letter. That's how long they haven't talked, at least for 5 months, because she doesn't know about this and she's updating her. All right, not to bring up old news, but I saw Kat about 5 months ago. Priceless for real. She came to my softball team party and get this, slapped me. Could have been worse, but she laughed. She proved how completely immature she was. She told me she hung your poo. How low can one person go? How's Pooh doing after that trauma? From what I know and believe is that they're talking about a Winnie the Pooh stuffed animal that was one of Molly's favorites, and Kat hung it because that's the weird shit that Kat
Not
does.
like on a wall or anything. Not hung like that.
No,
like,
hung it.
Hung it
like a noose.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's also the same person that in the Netflix show is telling you that she hadn't talked to Amy in years. There really was no communication. She doesn't know who Tom is. All a lie. Kat worked at Ruth Chris with Amy and Tom.
And Tom.
She knew exactly who Tom was. Tom was their manager. She showed up and slapped Amy at a softball party 5 months prior to this. And then in January of 98, when Amy was out on a date at Caddy's right up the street here with Tom, Kat came in there too. But the Netflix show says that Kat,
don't we?
yeah, the Netflix show says something different, so they must be right? I think I'll take Amy's own words for it before I take an edited show by Netflix. Okay, moving on. Let's see. So now she's saying, I've just got Bailey with me at the apartment. Bailey is her bulldog. He reminds me of Jacob, a big baby caught in an awkward older body. I had one of Millie's kittens, Toby, over here for a couple days, but he beat Bailey up and I had to take him back home. Pretty sad when a kitten beats up a 65-pound dog. I'm getting a new edition on the 13th. I hope, a Chihuahua named Lucy from the SPCA. She's 8 pounds, black, and has a head the size of a plum. Bailey will be petrified. So I just want to clarify this. This was written on February 4th. She was getting the Chihuahua. The Chihuahua did not work out. So she ended up not being able to take that dog. But then fast forward to March 20th, somewhere around that time frame, when Iva and Amy go to the boarding place to drop off Bailey, because Bailey is going to stay there while they're on the cruise. That is when she gets introduced to the other bulldog, which was Daisy. Mm-hmm. And that's when she makes the arrangements and says, okay, I've been looking for another dog. I just tried another dog. That one didn't work out. So I love this bulldog. And she makes the arrangements then to pick that dog up when she gets back from the cruise on that following Monday. Okay. All right. So I hate that I'm rambling on. You're probably not even reading this. And then she signs it. She does give her out her phone. She goes, I'll go for now, but call if you want. She gives her phone number. And she just says Amy. That's all she says is Amy. So there's no I love you. There's no I miss you. There's no I hope. There's none of that. Just to, back up on that whole Molly situation real quick, that is a very sad thing for the Bradleys because they really don't understand or know why Molly stopped speaking to them. Molly came to the Bradleys 2 weeks after the cruise and brought them the postcard. And if you haven't seen the postcard, you can look it up. It's on the website. You can probably just Google it. At the end of that postcard, which is interesting, in the Netflix show, Molly tells everyone that they have definite plans. But if you look at the postcard that she actually brought over to the Bradleys 2 weeks after, she went missing, that postcard says something to the effect about maybe seeing you at Easter, and it's a question mark. Now, if they've reignited and they're going to be together and they're happy about all of this, it's a month. If you go back and look at the dates from when they were to get back from the cruise until Easter that year, they've just reconnected, supposedly, according to Molly, but they're not going to see each other until Easter. That seemed odd to me. Not saying it's not true, just kind of seemed odd. But that postcard says Easter with a question mark. So it didn't say, can't wait to see you at Easter, looking forward to seeing you at Easter with exclamation points. It said, maybe see you at Easter with a question mark. That to me says y'all didn't have definite plans. Yeah. By the way, the Bradleys contacted this letter from Molly and told them that they had this letter. Molly never came and got it. But Molly says that Amy's the love of her life. And you find out about a letter that you never got from Amy, and they call you up and tell you that, hey, they've got it, and she didn't come and get it. She did come several years later. She came in 2023 and spent the entire day for Easter over at the Bradleys' house. She was there all day, morning, noon, and night. She never asked about the letter. And she also is the first time. Now, she told them about the postcard in 1998 when she came over to their house. It's not until 2023 that she brings up the message in the bottle and reads them part of that. Isn't that something? Their daughter's been missing since 1998. You come to their house, you stay in communication with them all the time, but you don't tell them about a message in the bottle until 2023, and then you don't even let them have it. The Bradleys didn't even get a copy of the message in the bottle until after the Netflix show came out. Molly had said she didn't want to do the Netflix show. That's what she told the Bradleys. Then all of a sudden, Molly's doing the Netflix show, which the Bradleys are like, okay, well, she had a change of heart, but okay. And then she stops talking to the Bradleys. Why? Is it because the stuff that she was saying in the Netflix show she knew wasn't true? And she knew that she couldn't come face the Bradleys again after that, after remaining friends with them from 1998 all the way up to 2020. So that would have been 2020. We're in 2024. You remain. They love you, welcome you into their home. treat you like one of their own, but now all of a sudden you stop talking to the Bradleys, and for what? Because you did a Netflix show and you said stuff that you knew was going to come back. So now you can't come back over there and face them. That's what happened. That's my opinion, of course, because Molly
And it's
doesn't talk.
sad. And it's very sad
It is
because
sad.
Molly, like me, and Molly and Tom, you know, when the Bradleys see us, it gives them a glimpse of or feeling a brief moment of Amy because they remember seeing us, Amy with us.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why I'm just
Um,
I just cannot believe, honestly, because I know Kat and I know Molly, and I'm more shocked about Molly, to be honest.
yeah. Someone just asked, do you not like Molly? I have no, Molly and I aren't friends. I don't have anything to do with Molly whatsoever. So to say I don't like her, I didn't know her even before. So it's not like we were friends and we're not friends now. But I know
Yeah, Molly
that,
lives in Kentucky, and
yeah,
remember, this is and just to reiterate, the reason why there is a letter is because we did not have texting back then.
yeah,
Okay, just want to reiterate that.
yep,
There
yep,
was no texting. We still had snail mail.
yeah. What I don't like, just to be clear, what I don't like is that she didn't give the Bradleys the message in the bottle. She gave it to Netflix producers instead. Not actually, I should take that back if I'm going to say it. She gave it to Ample Production. I think
Yeah.
that's weird. I don't have to like you or not like you just to say that that's weird. Why would you give Ample Productions a copy of a message in a bottle that you didn't even give the Bradley family? And then the more important thing is, once we got a copy of the message in the bottle, we didn't get it from Molly. We got it from Ample Production. They are the ones that actually finally sent the Bradleys a copy of that letter, and we didn't get that until November of last year. How now? Molly says that when she reads that letter, she interprets it as a love letter. That's her interpretation. I guess that's her opinion, and she is welcome to her opinion just like everyone else. But when we all read that letter, we were like, oh my God. Oh my God. There is nowhere in that message in the bottle that Amy ever uses the words, I love you, I'm in love with you, I'm desperate to be in a relationship with you. She says nothing of the sorts. The only thing that she even says about even making any type of effort is that she says, I would drive 400 miles to have lunch with you. That's someone that's trying to be friends with somebody that she's been friends with for over a decade, that's trying to say, look, great, we hooked up one time, it didn't work out, but can't we just get back to being friends again? She doesn't sign off saying I love you, I miss you, nothing. So they took that last part of that letter and they sensationalized that because it was weird, right? Because of the timing. I can tell you, if Amy is ever able to come and speak for herself and say, nope, Sandy, you were wrong, that's okay, and I'm okay with it. But I know, because you can go and look it up yourself, that the movie, Message in a Bottle, no, not the movie, the book, Message in a Bottle, was getting ready to come out on April 1st. And so you know how when a book is getting ready to come out, they'll have like marketing setups, saying pre-order, and probably had some things like I think she got that message in the bottle there, probably at one of those setups, because that's the only thing that would even make sense as to where a message in the bottle came from. So got it. And then she was a writer. She's a beautiful, beautiful writer. So taking that and saying, hey, I'm stranded. I miss my, she didn't say I miss my friend. I'm just paraphrasing just to say that that's what it sounds like. A friend that's desperate for a friend, wants her friend back in her life, and she used the message in the bottle as a way to spin it and like try to make an impact. And in fact, it did, because Molly tells you that she did reach out to Amy after she got that letter. So in my opinion, Amy's letter did its job. Molly had completely ignored Amy from January of 97 all the way up to February of 98. But now she got that letter and she's like, all right, maybe we'll hang out when I come back, for Easter. I think that's awesome. That would have been wonderful. Unfortunately, Amy didn't get the opportunity. And so none of us know the end of that story. But we know that Amy was dating Tom. She was happy with Tom. She's telling Molly all about Tom on February 4th. The message in the bottle is not the emotional love letter that was portrayed on Netflix. It's definitely Amy was desperate for her friend. You can tell that she really missed Molly. She never used the word miss, but I'm just saying, she's like, I'd drive 400 miles to have lunch with you. She doesn't say I'd drive 400 miles to give you a kiss, to give you a hug, to hold your hand, to cuddle with you. She doesn't say any of that. She says, I'd drive 400 miles to have lunch with you. That to me, so Molly has her interpretation of that letter, that it's a love letter. Sorry, but that's not my interpretation of it. When I read it, I'm like, that's just a friend trying to reconnect with her friend. It seemed very sincere and very genuine that she missed Molly greatly as a friend. So anyway,
really, the only person who can dissect anybody's words or that letter would be Amy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can all sit here and say what or how to interpret it, but I mean, if I'm speaking from what I know of Amy and everything, Amy does not like conflict at all, which another reason why I know she's alive, because she's going to do what she has to do to survive. And she doesn't like conflict, and she has a lot of hearts and like people who adore her. And there is a connection. And Amy has a connection with Molly, and she wanted to keep that.
Yeah.
That's it. That's really nothing more. They grew up together. They played basketball together. They swam together. But to think that they were Molly's in Kentucky. Amy's not going to leave her family. I can tell you that. Amy's not going to leave her parents and her brother. No. She's not.
Well, so that was that. And like I said, it ended up being a great intro because now tomorrow's episode of Midnight Mystery Archive is with Tom. So make sure you tune in and listen to that tomorrow. I think he gives a great perspective of not just who Amy was in the months leading up to the cruise, but he can also offer insight of what the family was doing, after the fact, and including himself, not just what the family was doing, but him personally and what he was doing. Mm-hmm. So make sure you listen in. I do want to mention again that if you haven't, Invisaware is a partner with Kevin on that podcast. And so anything that you purchased, you get 10% off on that. And they've got some great products. I did finally, because I've been saying I was going to, if you go to Amy's Linktree, the link to Invisaware is now up there. I finally did it. I'm so proud of myself. Let's see.
Toot your own horn there.
I know. I'm so proud of me for finally. I've only said I was going to do it for 4 weeks straight, I think, but I finally did it. So we'll end on that. We'll be back next Tuesday at 7:30 as usual. Kevin did say, or actually, maybe Kevin didn't say it. Somebody told me that one of the people that he's working on next is Judy Moyer. And I know that's one that people have asked about before and said that they would love to hear more from, her. She's one that said her portion of the Netflix show was edited and they left out large portions, which leaves gaping holes and makes things seem, there's Kevin right there. Hi, buddy. He just said true. So that's one that he's working on, and I'm not quite sure. Kevin, do you want to come up? I did not know you were on here. I'll send you an invite. If you want to, you can. You don't have to. But I'd rather you, if you want to speak about it. We're not
going to keep getting in habits of going over. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that now.
We're getting close. Hold on. Let me bring up Kevin.
I'll be fast.
No, you're fine. Okay. No, you're fine. I'm joking. Right, totally joking.
Yeah, so I've been texting with Judy. I think we'll probably talk the beginning of May. I plan on talking to Jim Carey this week, who's one of the private investigators. I've also been in contact with Lori as well, who's one of the eyewitnesses from the morning of the 24th.
I love this.
And I've also been in contact with David Carmichael as well.
Wow. Look, you are busy.
I am actually very busy trying to schedule this stuff and coordinate it around my actual job and, my obligations at home. Yes.
Well, I know you're seeing it for yourself, but I mean, you are getting really great rave reviews on your work.
I have. I'll be honest with you. I've gotten some messages too just recently that have been just extremely kind. And it makes me feel good that people appreciate it and that it's being well received. And, I've had some, I've had a few stinker comments too, because I mean, we know likely where that's coming from,
Yeah.
but,
It's our friends.
Yeah.
yeah,
Our
but
good friends.
yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. So,
Yeah.
No.
I'm more, I'm just more passionate about doing a good job and, being very respectful to Amy and Ron and Iva and Brad and just doing my best to tell a fuller story than frankly, what Netflix did. I think they did the family dirty. I don't have anything preventing me from saying that. I think I rewatched it actually just the other day. And honestly, it made me angry.
Yep. It does. And it takes on because if you are at home and you do not know the Bradleys and you do not know any of the story, and if you just watch that, wow. And then when you try to correct that story and people are like, oh, they're just trying to spin the narrative. No, we're trying to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But somebody else told the story and told it not correctly. And now, I don't know, but I just appreciate you so much, Kevin. Everything that you're doing, it's amazing. I told you last week, I won't say what Brad's actual response was, but that episode last week was outstanding with the lawyer.
Yeah, I got quite a few comments about that one.
Yeah, it was great. It
Yeah,
really
all
was.
very good. And I actually was just working on episode 5 today.
Okay.
And I think this is a really good one too, because I know you're running over, but I'll make it quick.
It's fine.
Because I think it's an important
I
topic,
was
right?
joking.
Episode 4 really was focused on, just a lot of the failures that occurred. And, chapter 5, there's a choice that the family has after feeling all of those failures firsthand, right? They can just throw their hands up and think, my gosh, we're screwed. And they could go crawl in a hole and do nothing and just grieve, which if they had, I would have understood that. And I think most people would in that circumstance, but they didn't.
Right.
And actually, Tom said something to me the other day that really struck a chord with me. When they got back home, he was there at the house and had stayed there with Aaron. And he said, Iva specifically went around to everybody in the house that had kind of gathered there to support, hugged them, told them thanks. I can't imagine how difficult that would have been.
Right.
And, despite that, and the other part too was, it was almost like she already had a plan. We're going to find Amy and this is just what we're going to do.
Right.
There was no rest for the weary, as the old saying goes.
That's right. Yeah. So tomorrow is Witness Wednesday with Tom, and then Friday will be episode 5.
Yep, and that'll be all about the initial early search. We'll talk a little bit about Iva's brothers who actually took the exact same cruise.
Are you going to be able to talk to them? Do you know if
I haven't talked to them yet,
Okay.
but both Brad and Tom gave me some good insights about their recollections of that. That would be something I'd love to do, is talk to them. But then also a lot of, memories and perspective from Brad and Tom, who also went back with Ron and I believe it was Paul, I think 2 or 3 weeks after the cruise, and they were actually back in Curacao doing a search. And, some of their stories, it's tough to hear, but I think it's also the reflection of a family that was committed 100% from the first second that they were going to do everything that they could to find Amy.
Yeah.
And I think
And
it's a great story of strength and love.
no doubt. And Tara, I'm seeing your comments in regards to saying that, it was a lot of poor investigating and poor questioning and poor effort. Exactly correct. And so I think that's a good time to remind you, if you haven't listened to Kevin's, it actually was kind of twofold, because you had Witness Wednesday last Wednesday, but then you also incorporated some of that information then into Friday's episode 4 of his 12-part series. So
Yeah.
go back and listen to those 2 podcasts last week, the one from Wednesday, which is Witness Wednesday, and then episode 4 that came out on Friday, because that
And
tells
really
you
quick,
exactly.
Really quick, the Witness Wednesday with Tom is actually going to be. So last week I talked to the lawyer and I released the whole interview, and then I incorporated some of that into the actual episode. This week, my conversation with Tom on Witness Wednesday is just really about Amy and his relationship with Amy, and what he liked about Amy. But he was kind enough to give me more time, and we talked about the trip back, which will be incorporated in the Friday episode.
Okay, so we got 2 sightings of Tom this week then. Okay,
Yes,
that is
yes.
great. So go to midnightmysteryarchive.com. You have all of your options on there to listen to his podcast. I will ask you humbly to, if you are able to listen through the Amazon link, we would really love you to do that. If you have the option to listen to like Amazon and Apple and Spotify, then please listen through Amazon, because that helps him to offset the production costs that he is incurring from doing this series. So if you can, please listen through the Amazon link. And I guess anything else, Kevin?
No, I kept you over 6 minutes, so
You're fine. We appreciate it. I'm glad I saw you show up in there so that I let them hear it
We
directly.
can go over 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's how much you mean to all of us and what you're doing. Yeah,
That's right.
everything that you've done. You can take all the time you want.
Yeah. So
You're doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Anything else, girl, before I wrap this up?
No,
Okay.
I think we're good.
All right. So real quick, amybradleyismissing.com. That's our
Thank
website.
you.
Go there. You can submit tips. Yep. Sorry. Why is that Nick one? Oh,
I did create an event on Facebook if you want. That way they can leave messages in the comments there for the event and stuff. But just keep in mind, if anybody has questions, we need to do it. It's easier to do it beforehand, because if I get too involved in if I get too engrossed in the discussion, then I'm not really paying attention to the questions.
yep. I know how that goes.
I'm sorry.
But so on the amybradleyismissing.com website, there's also a page to the link tree. On the link tree, it has the links to everything. Links to our official Facebook page, our Instagram page, Brad's X page, Brad's TikTok page. There's a link to submit a tip to the FBI. There is the Missing Amy Bradley supplemental website that has additional information that goes in depth, even further, that you can go to. There is the GoFundMe. There is the petition for the Amy Alert. That is over there as well. So please go check out that link tree, because it gives you everything that you need. If you want to submit an email directly to the family and to their PI team, that is amybradleyismissing@gmail.com. You can also call 804-789-4269, which is for Amy, AMY, so 789-4AMY. We will, of course, download this episode and go upload it over on our YouTube channel, which is at amybradleyismissing.com. I do that immediately, so it'll be up in the next 15 minutes. If you missed the beginning part of it, feel free to go back over there and watch it. And the last thing I'm going to say is, if you are on Facebook and you are not following George Smith, he put up a really passionate.
Thank you for mentioning this. Thank you.
A really, just touching post this afternoon about his son that was taken on another cruise ship. And so if you're not following George Smith, he is someone else that is still pleading with the government, pleading with President Trump, pleading. He's just another victim
He
just
was
like the
murdered on the
Bradleys.
cruise.
I really love for you to go over there and read the post that he put up today. And if you don't know his page, send me a message. I'll send you a link directly to his page. But his name is George Smith. And I think that's it, friends. So
I got one more thing, if you don't mind. I
Yeah.
want to end it with this. You know, if something's eating you up, if you know you've wronged somebody, whether it be whatever have you, it's never too late to make it right.
no,
So make it right. You need
that's
to
right.
make it right.
Yeah. All right, friends. Well, thank y'all so much. We'll see you next Tuesday here at 7:30. Y'all have a wonderful week.
Good night. Love y'all.
Bye.